cake iced at Headingley, folks. Australia 30 defeat England 8, 3-0 series whitewash. I think they only conceded 2 tries the whole series. A combined points of 70 to 18. So a few penalty goals in the mix there for England. Reece Walsh, unbelievable. Continued his great form. Another double. 4 tries in the series. Undefeated since drinking the toilet water. That is a fact for you right there, folks.
It is, isn't it? And his stats say something in it. Something in the Brasco water. Trough Man was right all those years ago.
The cartel, Brian. The cartel. Harry Grant got a man of the match.
Harry was awesome.
Reece Walsh got a man of the match. Munster got a man of the match and player of the series.
Yeah. No, they were, and people have been critical of Cleary, but when you're in that side, you don't have to do what he needs to. Like people are saying, he's never aimed up at rep footy. Origin, obviously, he hasn't had the best of luck, but I find Nathan Cleary, you can just tell he has no ego.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
I know
anything, he's too nice.
Yep.
So he didn't want to upset. The game plan was obviously revolving around Harry, Munster on the back of that. But I thought Cleary did his job. It wasn't a standout. But, no. I just don't think where the criticism's coming from. We've won 3-0. He's your halfback. And it was funny, right, as the games went on, they got more cohesion, didn't they? Like if there was a 4th test, I'd be honest to score 50.
So the chat this morning on SEN, a lot of the questions, Brandy and Vossi, they had Cosra and Heels on, and the question was, like if, and it's a hypothetical, if New Zealand played Australia at this time of the year, based on what we've seen, who would win the game? And a lot of people are tipping New Zealand, but there's a big difference because conditions over there is
slippery,
huge. Yeah,
cold.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't compare it.
I don't think you can either.
No. I mean, New Zealand were awesome.
Of course they were.
They were very, very good. But Australia had just did enough in those 2 games, I felt, just to get the win. And then yesterday or Saturday morning, they were sort of chancing their arm a little bit and playing a bit high risk footy. So. Unfortunately, I thought young Litton was good. Young Jez, the hooker. He was a shining light for him.
Yep.
But they were just everything was premeditated, wasn't it?
It was.
Let's go to the right post. Let's do a front rower come in for a block.
Yep.
Our defence was just too good. Like we see that every day in the NRL.
Every single day.
It's when they look most dangerous. It was when they scored, obviously, but when they were just pushing up, hoping for a quick play of the ball, and just hit holes. That's what young Litton did.
Yeah. I can't disagree with any of that, Brian. Now, Kangaroos successful tour. No warm-up games. They go over their hit-and-run mission. Some players not getting a game, which was always going to be the case in this situation. Now, people were sort of talking about, do you blood people and get them into the game and the youngsters and should Bradman Best get a game? Should Ethan get a game? And all that sort of chat ahead of the World Cup. But Kevie Walter's at this point only had that assignment. So for him, he just needs to win the series. He doesn't currently have the World Cup games just yet, does he?
No, the contract I think he signed was just for these 3 games. And then they would reassess.
Yes.
As they like to do. They were going to park it there.
Yep.
Take it offline.
Yep.
And
a few post-it notes.
Circle back. Work, and then we'll peel the onion off and we'll have a look at it later on.
Yeah, and just under the butcher's paper. 1300 01 1170. England, well, I mean, were they disappointing or was it just meeting a far better horse?
They were disappointing. I found that their effort was always there, which is the main thing. That the loss of I know there was no Radley. They were so good last year when they played Samoa. It was a different sort of side. I don't know whether it's there's talk for Sean Wayne to maybe step down, and I don't know whether whether they do it. There was a chat that Sam and James Graham could take over, but I just found that they were just missing that one big front, like an enforcer. There was no one to look up when you, was going to put fear in you.
I get what you're saying there. This one here. So the Daily Telegraph saying Michael Maguire linked to the World Cup. Is that right? Possibly coaching the Kangaroos. Well, that'd give him the full set. He's won with the Kiwis.
No, the Pommies, not the Kangaroos.
Oh, is this for the English side?
No, for England, yes.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, for England, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, okay.
Are they allowed to, have they just reached out or what's the... What's the story there?
Yeah, it was just basically that he's been floated as a potential person to replace Wayne for the World Cup challenge.
Brisbane wouldn't allow that.
No. You'd probably have to give up his Broncos job,
okay,
right?
well, that's not happening.
No, well, in theory, like if you're prepping for a World Cup, you can't be
No, and he would
in the NRL.
Madge seems to me like a coach when he's just focusing on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Christian Wolf's interesting. So he had Tonga, a disappointing campaign for them, but I kind of would want my players to have my coaches rather, to have a rest. It's another month, really, isn't it? That Christian Wolf's had to be at it, and he's kind of almost got to get straight back in the saddle. Don't you want your coaches to
freshen up?
Freshen up?
It's not. Yeah, you're right, because it's not obviously not physical, but the mental toll of it all. And going over there, maybe taking your eye off the ball.
It's 36-14. Samoa flying out of the gates, but then run down by this Herculean Kiwi side in front of 28,000 at Combank Stadium. A huge statement, this whole series from New Zealand. They were terrific. They started well, Samoa. They scored the first 2 tries. You could hear the sound just echoing through behind Vossi's call there, To'o and Sasangi. But then the Kiwis, 5 straight tries en route to their second Pac Champs. Now, Dylan Brown, I'll tell you what, Vossi this morning, he was waxing lyrical. He was lavish with praise. He said the Dylan Brown performance was as good as Walsh in the grand final.
Well, yeah, but not. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, well, he did say that obviously the grand final is higher pecking order than a Pacific Champs.
No, he was a standout across the whole tournament. It was. So if you're a Newcastle fan, and it was Dylan Brown playing at 6. You had Kieran Foran, who organises the team, allowed him to do his thing. I just maybe are we thinking, is he a 6 and not the 7? I know they got Fletcher Sharp, and Fletcher Sharp is going to be in the halves. This is a Justin Holbrook. Oh, would you rather turn Fletcher Sharp into a 7 and have him running at the 6, or? I
reckon the best chance to turn into a 7 would be Kalen.
Yeah.
Do you think Kalen could play 7?
I think Kalen could play 7. I think Kalen can play anywhere. It was enormous, but he had those forwards, that bench. Brooksy and I were just talking about. Fahu White had a stormer of the game. Aaron Clark.
Where's he now, White, in the pecking order? He's up there, isn't he?
He's up there.
Yep.
I was surprised Terrell May only played 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They had Francis Molo playing, starting. I would feel Terrell is a better front row. Maybe he's looking for impact, but I just thought he'd start with May.
We had Tane on before. It is a cracking concept. It's legitimately flying.
And getting bigger and bigger.
Yep.
And it is to do with the crowds, because the week before, when the Tongan supporters were singing those hymns, how good was that? Well,
awesome.
we don't see that.
No.
Like they've grown up as part of their culture. Yep. We don't get to see that. It was brilliant.
Awesome.
And they sounded good, and they were all in key.
Stacey Jones boys had mentioned last week that he'd like to see the Pac Champs played during State of Origin time. Any thoughts there?
Well, the only issue then, we're going to lose the Origin players.
Yeah, so the Brian Tottles would have to make calls, right?
They would have to make calls, and New Zealand would win that without the Origin players, because New Zealand suffer, right? Because they don't get the Orange, but we know that. But New Zealand playing against Tonga and Samoa without their top line players, I don't know how clubs would feel about it, but it does work, and we've got to keep going like this. Brooksy and I were just talking about how we get England back to where they were. Is there a argument to get some of their best players to come out here, and if you play in the NRL, you don't have to salary cap exempt? You know, just to get. Maybe we could get a couple of Saffers over here.
I like your thinking, Brian, but on the other side of that, they want to build the game up.
Their game. I
know. So
they've got to do something, because they didn't. I mean, they scored 2 tries over 3 tests.
I think the best thing they could do, but this could be also a government issue, because I don't know the visa situation, but is to have more NRL players playing over there.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with the loan, especially if now the NRL buy it and make it a lot easier to send. And you look at this. You got Bevan French, Jai Field, who were average first graders here. Well, I'm not going to say average. I'm saying they were first graders, but couldn't cement a position. They go over there and brain it, Man of Steels.
Yep.
By 2.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
We need to send more of these kids going over there because it's at the moment the pathways isn't working in England, and I think it's going to take too long. If they start now, if the NRL go right, we'll jump in, we'll help out. They're still going to be 5 or 6 years away.
Can I ask you this, boys? If the first name that came to mind would be someone like a Toby Rodwell. Now that we've got Daly Cherry Evans locked up with the Roosters and Hugo's still there, would you send like a Toby Rodwell to the Super League?
Why wouldn't you?
And just say, listen, he's on loan. If we have to break glass and bring him back, we'll bring him back.
Yep.
But in the meantime, is he better off playing at that level or is he better off playing reserve grade here?
He's better off playing over there. Well, no, New South Wales Cup here is, I reckon, on par with Super League. The good clubs over there, the Hull KRs and the Wiggins, they would win.
Yep.
Well, they go close over here with our.
Yep.
Actually, they would win.
They would win. They should win.
They should win.
Yep.
It's more to help them out.
Yes.
Rather than the player, because when you go over there, it's a lot more physical. So if you're a young kid, a little bit timid, and your first grade coach goes, "I'm going to toughen him up," that's the place to go. Because you can imagine playing in early Feb and you're just getting whacked. Because the angles of the cameras, not every game's televised over there. So
who was the blonde Warrington bloke who used to whack me with his arm guard?
Blonde who? Which one?
The blonde Warrington forward.
Westwood?
Yeah.
Was it?
Ben Westwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to just
Johnny
whack
Clark?
me. Yeah, bang.
Well, that's what I found over there, going over there, off the ball. You were getting whacked later.
Whack-a-mole.
You're whacking. You're a little funly.
That should be enough. That'd be a tour. I can see tourists now typing up the podcast. Whack-a-mole. Brooks,
I'll go on for you boys. All right, like we're talking how good the Pacific Championship's been. We've got Vegas. We've got the Pacific growing. We're talking about investing in English Super League. Do you think legitimately the NRL can eat the hard and the soft taco here and go to England and invest there, but also develop the Pacific? I think they're sort of going to make more of a decision just to grow the Pacific. I don't know about this going to England and what's the benefit there? To make more money? Because do you reckon they made money? Let's say the Kangaroos made money going over there. It's more just like, okay, here's the Kangaroos. We're going to play 3 games. They didn't do any tour.
Brooks,
they played 3 tests.
I think we need a strong England team. We need a strong English rugby league side. Like you think about the years gone by, like with that famous Test match where we used to get up early and watch it.
Yep.
When Mal scores that winning try, it was so entertaining. We need to have a strong, and the reason why it's pretty simple. You have a look at the Tongan, Samoan, and Kiwi side; they're all NRL players.
Yeah.
So the secret sauce is playing in the NRL.
Correct.
So do we send our kids over there, or do we bring their English players over here? But then that sort of jeopardises or takes away the talent from over there.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. When you were talking about Toby Rodwell, I was sort of like, I'd prefer him to be around Daly Cherry Evans and the coaching staff here and stuff,
the other thing,
rather than just playing in the Super League and chalking up games. What if he gets injured? Or there's definitely pros and cons in both. But I just think I woke up for those 3 games. I just went, I should have just watched the mini. Like, that's how I felt. And I used to love those tours, boys.
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
And it was like, but when those tours were happening, there was no Tonga and there was no Samoa. And there was no PNG. Like, PNG were losing 50-6 and 56-0, and France were doing the same.
Yeah.
It was only really a 5-country sport. Now it's like you got to open up the Pacific, and it's like I want 4. I want Australia playing with New Zealand, Samoa, and Tonga. I want to develop this.
We played Samoa in 2000 at World Cup, and we won by 60.
Yeah,
that would never happen.
No, not now.
Never happen now.
No.
So it's pretty obvious. It's our league, the NRL,
the professionalism of the NRL,
of professional, and the rise of Polynesian players in our competition, which is only going to get stronger and stronger. It's the secret sauce is playing under NRL conditions and training under NRL conditions.
I think you're right.
The Super League, it's obvious they don't.
Yeah.
They're not training as hard.
Have they got too many teams in the Super League?
Well, they've added another 3.
I know, but do you reckon that's half the problem? Like, we talk about have we got enough players, which we do. Do you think if it was like a 8-team comp or what was it, 12? I think it might. It's gone up to.
Well, Salford are gone now.
Salford are gone. York come in.
York have come in. I just feel that we need to at the moment, they're sliding downhill at a rapid rate, the English game.
But how's it going to get better with 3 extra teams?
Well, I don't know. And now we're going to have another 2 teams coming in.
Yeah.
So are we going to take some of their players? Well, at the moment,
the players that would have been going there are now getting filtered.
Yeah,
without
going to our other 2 clubs.
Yeah, it's a concern. By the way, so I thought they would lay down misères, but London Broncos have missed the Super League. So despite the fact that Darren Lockyer and others have bought into the franchise.
That was always going to happen, wasn't it? Didn't they have... They always knew they were going to have to play in the
Well, I
tier
think
below.
they were hoping they could have, but anyway, not to be. Rising star for Struddies. You can look good, feel good, and play your best. Keanu Kinney, he's a beauty. He was huge in the Kiwis' last 2 matches, wasn't he, Brian?
Oh, how good's he go? He had that, obviously, it's a bit of that, what could have been with him. He had that injury. I saw Corey Parker come out saying he's just as good as Reece Walsh.
Ooh.
Well, potentially.
At the same age.
They look... I mean, they're both exciting to watch.
That's a big wrap.
So the Titans, the AJ and
It's the fullback-a-thon.
he's your fullback.
Yeah.
Kinney's your fullback.
Yeah, so Campbell's now half, right? It's just,
What
what do you do
AJ
with him?
what do you do with him? You put him in the centres.
I don't
and
know.
then you put him in the centres, he doesn't get enough ball and maybe off the bench.
Apparel that elevates your game. You can join the Struddy squad today. Visit struddies.com.au. Other Kiwi performances. Isaiah Papali'i, his second half of the year was outstanding. He scores a double. Unmissable moment thanks to Drinkwise. Well, it had to be Kieran Foran. He leaves a winner. What a champion fellow he is and has been throughout his career. 34 tests for the Kiwis and now 2-time Pac Championship winner. Kinney, as we said, 200 metres in the match. And Aaron Clark.
How good's he? Did he get, we don't do it officially, but was he the signing of the year? Do we give him that?
He was the Dalian Lock of the Year, wasn't he? I think you'll find. Aaron Clark, He was superb. A try and a try assist, so he's just gone through the roof. And for Samoa, no Stephen Crichton. Payne Haas was an unbelievable addition. Hermiside Tabuo Fado, he was also unavailable, but he'll be set to go for the World Cup. And Tino is a possibility for